Space Station. Hi guys, it's Ben here from TRX Space Station. How's everyone doing? This is going to be my video response to this fortnight's Friday Foursome, and this time it's on your 4 biggest gaming regrets. I actually covered my gaming regrets a few months ago. I think it was originally a video response to a question by LifeSpiller79. And in my response to him, I think I listed 3 regrets. Some of those are still in here, but obviously this is adjusted and tweaked, and now fits in with the Friday Foursome format. So this is 4 regrets. The first one then, this takes me back now thinking about this one. So, years and years ago, I can still remember getting my first Pentium computer. It was a Pentium 90, and it was a pretty big upgrade because up until that point, I think we just had a really old 286, a DOS-based machine. It did also have Windows 3.1 on it. This was the first time we'd ever had a Pentium, and the first time we'd ever had a computer that had a CD drive, and it was simply amazing. You know, I remember spending a lot of time playing on it. We got a bunch of games that came with it. Screamer, an old racing game on the DOS, and oh, what else? I had all sorts of things. And it was amazing, it was cool, but obviously and it was really up to date and high tech at the time, and my dad paid a lot of money for it. I think we bought it from Toys R Us. But like with all things, especially with PCs, things go out of date really quickly. And I don't know, we were always thinking about whether we could upgrade or get a new machine or something. I don't know how it came about, but one of my friends at the time, who I used to hang out with, said that he had some RAM that he would sell to us really cheap. And this seemed like a good idea. Why not give my computer a RAM upgrade and make things run more smoothly? I mean, it was my dad's computer, but, you know, I told him that my friend had this RAM and that he was selling it cheap and that we could upgrade the computer and make it go faster. And, you know, I wasn't amazing with computers, but, you know, my dad knew a bit about them, and, you know, my auntie was over from Canada at the time, and she was quite into repairing computers. So we opened the computer up and we put the new RAM in, and I can still remember the almighty bang that happened when we turned it on. And we basically fried the whole system. We blew up the computer. And I don't think it was anything that we did on our part. It was simply something to do with the component that we put in there. And I think there was static in it. That was our suspicion. Something must have been dodgy with the component. And so I spoke to my friend and said, that RAM was messed up and it fucked up my computer. What the hell was wrong with it? And basically it transpired that he'd found a PC in a park and had opened it up and raided it and taken components out of it. And one of those was this piece of RAM that he'd sold me. What a bastard. He sold me some fucking RAM that he found in a thrown out PC in the park, which had probably been rained on, pissed on by dogs, covered in torrential wind and rain, and just, yes, weather ravaged. And I was really not happy at the time, and I was actually quite upset about it. I actually think I remember being really upset that I'd managed to do something so careless and destroy a very expensive PC. And, you know, that was just a way of things. I just guess I hadn't felt any reason to be critical or skeptical about what I was doing with the PC. I should have been much more cautious, I think, and I just regret it. Why did I have to bloody do that? Why did my friend have to sell me down the river and give me shit RAM? I still feel a twinge of sadness and regret about that one. That's probably the thing that I regret most in my whole gaming history. Blowing up an expensive PC, and I just haven't moved on. I just clearly haven't got over this issue. I think I need to go for some counselling and CBT and discuss with the counsellor why I was such a dick and blew up a computer with cheapo RAM. Anyway, I'm going to have to move on before I get too upset and dwell on this stupid thing. Number 2, a slightly less big regret, but one of the things that I have regretted in the past was not buying special edition Wii box sets at the time when they came out, because I quite like buying these, and I was pretty up to date with them. You know, I had the Xenoblade Chronicles one with the, you know, the special red controller. I had the Zelda on the Wii one, can't remember what that's called now, and that came with a special controller, Wiimote Plus. And I had the Pandora's Tower one, and I quite like collecting those, and they sell for about 50 quid when they come out new. And then the value just ramps up. I think people buy loads of them, and they just escalate the prices ridiculously. And I really wanted to get the Last Story one, but for some reason I was busy and dithering around, and I didn't buy the limited edition box set. And then I wanted it some months later, and as soon as I was looking for it, it was so expensive on eBay. It was 80 quid, 70 quid, things like that. I was like, oh god. And I couldn't find one that came up for ages that was in a price range that I thought was reasonable. I actually wasted quite a few months looking for it, and I kept looking online and on eBay, and it really did take a long time for me to find one that I thought was reasonable. And in the end, I just had to suck it up, and I paid 70 quid for it. I mean, it is worth it. It's an amazing game, you know, one of the last games on the system, I think, and it comes with a cool CD and a cool like collectible case inside. And I've completed the game, played it loads, really love the story in it. It's a fantastic RPG. If you love your JRPGs, I think you will be really amazed by it. Great story, beautiful graphics, and just a game that blew me away. I really hated paying 70 quid. I felt like I was just being completely ripped off. It wasn't that long after release, really, and yet the price was bloody high. I just regret not getting in there and buying that one at the time. So if you want those collectible box sets, get them straight away, because the prices just get ramped up by bastards on eBay. But I guess they are collectible, and I certainly hope that the value would go up over time. I mean, I know that with the Zelda one, I've seen that they're in pretty good condition at Leeds Retro Market, and it was going for a lot of money. So they will add value over time. They're definitely worth getting, but I just don't like 20 quid being added on with such a small number of months transpiring since release. Urgh. Number 3 then. I did mention previously that I used to have to sell my gaming collections to buy the next tier, and I guess there are tinges of regret about that, but one of the ones that I definitely regret was just kind of giving away my PlayStation 1 and all the games that I had for it, because my dad was like, we need to clear out space, and I guess it wasn't really fair for me to clog up their house with all my games and stuff. So I can kind of see the point that they wanted stuff clearing out. And true, I wasn't really playing my PlayStation games at that time, but I had a pretty big collection. I had lots of peripherals and accessories. I had the Time Crisis with the pedal and the light gun and stuff. I had a multi-tap. I used to love playing Bomberman 4-player multiplayer. And he was like, oh, my dad's friend, Bill, kind of wanted something for his grandson to play on. And I was just like, yeah, okay, we'll give it away. You know, I've got a PS2, I'm busy with other stuff. And now I'm like, oh, that was a system that really had a lot of memories for me. It was a big, big part of my growing up years, my teenage years. And I kind of miss it. And I'm not going to go back and buy one. It almost feels too sort of painful to do that. I don't know, it just had so many games, and it's such a huge library that I wouldn't know where to start, and I've already got enough systems, you know, to be getting on with. But I just kind of think if I'd still kept it, I would have looked upon it fondly and kind of maybe played it now and then. It was just such an interesting system, the PS1, and it had so many great games on it, such a huge library, and I had quite a few great games on it too. And yeah, it's a shame because I'm not going to revisit it, but and somebody did get some fun out of it, and that's the positive side of it. But I just kind of wish I could get it back and play some of those games. I don't know. Number 4 then. Oh dear. So when I was younger, for some reason, me and my brother could never play video games without some kind of argument or problem happening. I think a lot of you are like this. Some of the other guys I've spoken to on YouTube said that they were very similar with their brothers when they were younger. I don't know why brothers have to fight so bloody much. What is it about it? And video games were just the perfect way of that kicking off. You know, whether it's one person's hogging the system too much or whatever. Things just used to always end up just turning into fights. And I remember I used to play video games at my grandma's house with my brother, and we used to sometimes play Tekken. And Tekken is a game that just has to be banned in any family circumstance, because whenever we'd play Tekken, we would end up just fighting and beating the shit out of each other. I don't know why that game makes my blood boil so bloody much. It must just be the fact that you're beating each other up, I guess. It's already violent. One person would accuse the other one of button mashing or not knowing the combos or cheating. And I was basically just a sore loser. I would just hate fucking losing at the game, and I would just lose my temper. And I just remember my grandma coming into the lounge and being like, what the hell is wrong with you guys? We'd be in like a headlock, just like beating the shit out of each other on a dining room floor. And I don't know, it just fills me with a terrible feeling of sadness. I just hate that. I'm a really passive, non-violent person, and I hate conflict and fighting, and it just fills me with sadness that we used to do that. Why did we have to fight? Why did I get so mad about it? I just regret being such a dick when I was younger. So many things that we do when we're kids, because we're just naive and we're stupid, and they're not my personality, they're not who I am anymore. And so I just almost feel like saying sorry to my brother for any of those fights. I'm sure he doesn't care or even think about it, but there's just this weird guilt about an earlier self being a complete tool. And I just regret fighting so bloody much when we were younger. I guess it's not all about video games, but it was mostly playing fucking Tekken. That game is sinful. It just causes horrible amounts of violence to escalate quickly. I actually don't really like beat-em-up games. I barely ever play them now, but for some reason when I was younger I used to play them a bit. I guess maybe the reason I don't play them now is because I associate them with terrible violence between me and my brother. I actually remember once things got so bad, my brother came in with a Bradall and tried to attack me with it. It's like, Jesus Christ, these are escalating so badly. So yeah, I really regret that. I'm sorry. I'm not that person anymore. I don't think I'd ever fight somebody over a video game now. I'm way too placid and relaxed. So those are my 4 gaming regrets. Number 1 is the one that makes me the most sad. Why did I blow up the Pentium? I'm going to have to let these things go slowly over time. I'm going to finish this video and just do a little bit of mindfulness exercises and just have some deep breathing and just try and let it all go. Stop living in the past. It'd be interesting to hear your gaming regrets, guys, in a video response. And as always, do check out the Friday Foursome video. It's such a great series and it's really great that you're all contributing. Take care and I'll speak to you all soon. Bye.